Everyone dreams of working on a team that's operating in a flow state where everything's going smoothly. You know, that sweet spot where you have the resources you need to be successful. Everyone's talents complement each other, and you feel like you're all in this together. Nothing feels better professionally than reaching for a big goal and making a significant impact with a group of people that you trust and admire. This is the Upleveling Work podcast, the podcast about how real people are using tools to help uplevel work so they can create bigger impact and feel more connected. Together, we're going to explore questions like, how can you create high-performing teams without working more or burning out? How can you improve communication, manage conflict, and really build trust on teams? How do you set better goals for your team? How do you do things like lean into your strengths or tap into natural motivation that people already have in order to get more engagement? What are your team's obstacles to growth? Like, what about the unique composition of your team sometimes gels and sometimes tends to get in the way and cause people to trip over each other? What is the process of change and evolution as it applies to work more generally? In what ways do our family and culture shape our personality and how we show up for work? And ultimately, how can work be a more fulfilling experience generally? I'm your host, Michelle K. Anderson, an executive coach on a mission to empower women and minorities to become conscious leaders who gracefully navigate complex work environments with confidence. I firmly believe that the way to usher in the kind of change I want to see in the world is to uplevel the ways that we work together. And that is in part because we spend half of our waking hours at work. Did you know that ends up being almost 90,000 hours over your lifetime? That's a lot of time. It seems like a good opportunity to think about how do we juice more joy, more fulfillment, more satisfaction out of those hours. In my coaching practice, I sometimes use the Enneagram personality system to help clients get clear on who they are, understand the people in their life better, and to uplevel work. Because everyone's ego comes to work with them, and it's often the source of frustration or friction. I find that the Enneagram is an effective shortcut to improve self-awareness, relationships, decision-making, and communication. But I don't just use the Enneagram system. I find it's a good entry point to understand each other better and start to build your awareness of certain patterns. But there's so much more that we can do together. So in this podcast, I'll be sharing some of my best tips and key insights with you. I'll help you navigate the complexity of leading teams in a rapidly changing environment by introducing you to frameworks that can demystify workplace dynamics so that you know exactly what to expect and what to do depending on where your team's at and what's going on for you. In truth, I created this podcast to help share all of the things I wished I had known as a new manager 20 years ago when I was feeling so insecure and lost. This is one of the best parts about being an executive coach is being able to create a supportive environment for people to show up as their best self at work. And often, the coaching that we do together helps them to uplevel all of the areas of your life, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. I'm looking forward to exploring this all more with you in the upcoming episodes. Before you go, will you please subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen so that you can receive new episodes right as they're released? It would mean a lot to me because it really helps new podcasts be found by other people too. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon.